Okay. All right. Which brings us to item number 8. Proposed request for proposal for management of the Phoenix Center Amphitheater presentation by Mayor Deidre Waterman, Dan Ringo, interim DPW director.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to do the presentation regarding the Phoenix Center Amphitheater Management RFP that we have written for your review and input. It has not been submitted, but as you know, the whole Phoenix Center Settlement Agreement has a timeline that we've been moving on. And since November of 2018, when the City Council did sign the settlement agreement that resolved this litigation and removed the city from possible penalties and other obligations which would have been a financial detriment to the city. So we are now 15 months into that 24-month time period in which we were allowed to complete the repairs, renovations, maintenance that were needed to fulfill the terms of that settlement agreement. So there are a couple of issues that our council has before you this evening that are along with that package, but because we are running a little behind schedule and are asking council to move prudently, from the administrative side, we wanted to keep moving along with the things and try to keep on our end as much of the timeline as we possibly could. Now, a few weeks ago, we did give you the business plan. As we get the amphitheater and the Phoenix Center Garage up to code, according to the terms of the settlement agreement, providing council does go ahead and decide on a means of financing that. Then the next things are we have to have a business plan to see how we will conduct operations. So we did give council the idea about the business plan. Today, we're going to show you the RFP because the next thing is once we bring it up to code, then we have to manage the facility. And one of the things that people are very eager about to see happen is that we can again use the amphitheater on top of the Phoenix Center Garage. Many people remember all the festivals and the music events and all the kinds of events people would have. People still call up and ask me, when can we rent out the Phoenix Center Amphitheater? And we tell them, well, we have to get the renovations complete. There is no electricity up there. We don't have any elevator service, no emergency service, no water. So those are the things that we have to complete as terms of the settlement agreement so that we can actually utilize that facility. So we're looking ahead. Now, we're assuming that all this is going to be done, and then we're going to meet the terms of the settlement agreement and not default, which would be the financial detriment to the city. So we did, as part of that process, our procurement officer did write this RFP, and it is before you in your packets, council, because we're looking on to the next steps. And as you see, this council packet, your council packet, the RFP, number one, it does describe the amphitheater as a venue. And as you see, for those of you who don't have copies of this, you can look online because it is in the council packet that they do have. It does describe the amphitheater as a 500 portable seats on hard surface, tiered lawn seating, covered stage with rigging structure, walkways and ramps, site utilities for electric power supply, et cetera, et cetera. So for those of you who haven't been up there recently and remember it, this is still in pretty good shape up there and just needs to have these other amenities attached to it when we do the settlement agreement terms of completion. So it will hold approximately 35 patrons. So that's what is in the RFP. The other thing the RFP does is it does describe the qualifications of the venue manager that we're looking for. We're looking for someone to manage this because the city of Pontiac is not in the entertainment business, as you well know. We're into the business of getting your street lights fixed and your snow plowed and your other services done and getting your permits so you can get your roofs repaired. That's what the city of Pontiac is, and we're not going to try to compete with DTE or Cobo Hall or any of the other facilities. That should be done by a professional manager. And so this is what this is about. And then the other thing the RFP says is the anticipated scope of services. So it is the administration of the amphitheater, it's the financial management, and it is the promotional marketing, also venue operations, which includes all handling of all the events, sound, lighting, ticketing, sales, VIP services, pre-post show, VIP events, security, event staff, food and beverage, all those kinds of things. So this is how an RFP is written for this kind of venue. And as we have gone for a number of years now, this litigation started back in 2014, and people, I think, have been waiting. As we have restored the city of Pontiac to financial stability, one of the things that people ask me is, when can we book events in the Phoenix Center garage? So we're moving along with the thought that this is what administration should be doing. And as you see, before you, council, you do have some items that we have brought to you in terms of where we hope you will be in helping to move this process along, so we can get to the stage where we can have a venue operator. Now, as I said, we're not going to issue this RFP right now. We want to give it a couple of weeks so you to have some input. So that's why it's before you right now, because these things are dynamic and can be changeable, and we would like for council to be thoroughly apprised and have some input on this. Now, before you, for those of you who want to be further apprised about the whole issue of what's happening with the Phoenix Center, because it's very complex, it's been going on for a while, and some people know bits and parts of it. So we do have available now something we drafted called the Frequently Asked Questions. And it asks questions about, when was the settlement signed? Who signed it? Does the city have to comply with it? What happens if we default? I don't think you want to know about that. What are the different ways of the financing it? Who's moves to the next step, and that is council, which has to decide on the way to finance this. So it answers a lot of questions. We will have this out for general publication. There have been, we've introduced it to various committees and district meetings, but we'll have them available for those of you who want to know more about this. Now, one of the things that brought the timeline more into consideration, as we have been aware in administration, that we're under a time clock that has been ticking here. And we're 15 months now into a 24-month process with a lot of work to do. As we have been delaying that decision, council, and I hope we will move it along tonight, we today received a letter from the general counsel, the law firm that represents Ottawa Towers. Now, it's to be very specific. And what it writes is it acknowledges the fact
Mayor Waterman, you're on for a presentation of a request for proposal for, no, you're on, I'll read it to you, because clearly you're outside of the scope.
Council President.
Proposed request for proposal, RFP, for management
If
of
you
the
would allow
Phoenix
me to
Center
do that, you can see how
Amphitheater.
this all ties
Excuse me, no,
together.
I'm not gonna allow you to tie a bow. What you
Yes.
requested, what you spoke on
Okay.
very eloquently
But I
was
will
an
do is make this
RFP.
available online.
Madam Mayor,
Ready?
Madam Mayor,
I
Madam Mayor,
respect that you don't want me to talk about it
no,
right
no,
now.
what I don't want you to talk about is a
won't.
communication that was dated February 10th that you just said that you got today.
I was just
So
asking you.
what I'm saying is,
Okay.
you.
I'm finished with my presentation.
You're finished with your presentation?
I am.
Okay, I just have one question for you.
Yes.
Because I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, so I want to make sure that the business plan for the Phoenix Center that you said came to us didn't happen during that meeting, because I don't have that business plan. So
It was presented to council. We prepared copies for everybody. We'll give you a copy if you did not receive.
please, if you can give me a copy, that would be great.
would
Thank you,
be
Madam
happy
Mayor.
to, right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So now we move down to recognition of elected officials.